It's 7:46 p.m. on Saturday, the 26th of May, 2012. I'm Mark Strassman. I'm in Los Angeles. I'm a reporter with Utopia News. I'm about to talk to Dr. Stanton Glantz, who's professor of medicine at the University of California, San Francisco School of Medicine, and he's a supporter of Proposition 29 on the California ballot this June. Welcome, Dr. Glantz, to Utopia News.
Thank you for having me.
Tell us what Proposition 29 will do if it's passed.
Proposition 29 would increase the tax on a pack of cigarettes by $1 a pack, put 20 cents into reinvigorating California's anti-smoking program, about 65 cents into cancer and other medical research, and the remainder would go to anti-smoking activities and law enforcement.
Who worked to put it on the ballot, and who's supporting it now?
The primary supporters are the American Cancer Society, the American Heart Association, American Lung Association, Lance Armstrong's Live Strong Foundation.
And what do the latest polls say its standing is with the voters?
As of late last week, the Public Policy Institute had it winning 53% yes to 40% no. And I think that's really quite remarkable because the tobacco companies have already dumped over $40 million into a saturation media campaign against the initiative, and yet it's still showing it winning.
All right. What impact on smoking, particularly among teens, is Proposition 29 expected to have?
It's going to have a very large impact on smoking. Here in California, in 1988, the voters passed another initiative called Proposition 99 that increased the tobacco tax and set aside a nickel a pack for an anti-smoking campaign. As a result, we've seen smoking in California cut in half. Our smoking is down to only about 10.9% of the population. If 29 passes, the combination of the price increase due to the tax and the increase in funding for the anti-smoking campaign, we think will drive smoking down to about 8.5%. And we very well could get it low enough that the whole behavior would just collapse.
What structures will be established to provide accountability for the spending of the money?
Well, the money is being spent. The anti-smoking campaign would continue to be run by the California Department of Public Health, the same agency that's been successfully running the existing state anti-smoking campaign for the last 20-some years. There would be a 9-person commission established consisting of UC chancellors, heads of cancer centers, and other health advocates to oversee the research component. Part of the money goes to the Attorney General for law enforcement to make sure that all of the laws are followed.
How important in the overall quest for a cancer cure will be the money raised by Prop 29?
Well, that's hard to answer. You never know what's going to be the magic bullet in cancer. But there's no question but that the amount of money coming in from the National Cancer Institute and the National Institutes of Health generally is stopped growing and is actually shrinking because of the deadlock in the federal government. And so many very important projects just aren't getting funded now. I actually have sat on many of the National Cancer Institute scientific review committees, and it used to be that any project that's really excellent had a very good chance of getting funded. Now the NIH money has become so tight that probably only about half the highly worthwhile projects are being funded. Prop 29 would create the opportunity for us here in California to do more than we're able to do under the current federal environment.
Okay, I want to address some of the charges that the No on 29 people have raised against the campaign. Can the money that's raised by this tax be spent outside of California? And if so, does that make any much difference?
Well, the initiative, if you read the very purpose of the initiative, the first couple of sentences, it says it's to set up an anti-smoking program and a cancer and other medical research program in California. The initiative says in California 20 or 30 times. And I was in a meeting with the leadership of the American Cancer Society when they were asked this question, and they said if they tried to send the money out of the state, the Cancer Society would just sue them. I think if you read the initiative in its entirety from the context, beginning with the statement of purpose at the very beginning and all the way through, it's for a program in California. There's just no question about that. Now, it happens there's one clause in the initiative which is designed to establish an objective, fair, and open competition for the funds, which says that the peer review is to be done on an NIH model and any eligible organization can apply. And that one time they didn't say, quote, in California, and the tobacco interests have glommed onto that to gin up this claim the money's going to be sent out of state. But I think any reasonable reading of the initiative says it's for California.
Okay.
It's certainly, if you look at Proposition 99, which was the model for this, which the voters enacted in 1988, that money's all been spent in California.
Okay. Will Proposition 29 create any new bureaucracies?
No.
Okay. Talk a little bit more about the effort of the tobacco companies to blanket the airwaves with their No on 29 campaign.
Yeah, do you want more about the bureaucracy question?
Sure, if you've got it.
Yeah, I'll just the anti-smoking education component of Prop 99 will be run by the existing state health department tobacco control program, which is a model for other states in the whole world. The research component will be modeled on the NIH. The University of California already runs a tobacco-related disease research program. That could simply be extended, or the committee could set up a separate grants management organization. But the initiative restricts the amount of money to be spent on administration to 2%. So there's just not going to be enough money to create a bureaucracy.
Okay. When the tobacco companies say that the Prop 29 will cost California taxpayers $735 million, don't they mean it will cost Californians who buy tobacco $735 million?
Yes, that's right. I mean, if you don't smoke, you won't pay the tax. The tobacco tax will raise $735 million, and that money will really, the real people it's going to cost money are the cigarette companies. Because we've done some economic modeling and found that if 29 passes and is fully implemented the way Prop 99 was, it's going to drastically reduce smoking in California. We've estimated that if 29 passes, it's going to cut cigarette sales by about $1 billion a year. Now, that's the real reason the tobacco companies are opposing it, is they want to keep that cash flowing out of California into Philip Morris and Reynolds American's pocket and other tobacco interest pockets. What will happen if people quit smoking as much as we expect them to is that $800 million, which is currently leaving California to go back to the tobacco companies and other tobacco interests out of state, will stay here in California. It'll add about $2 billion in economic activity in California and create about 12,000 new jobs. And that's after you account for the fact that there'll be fewer people selling tobacco.
Talk a little bit about the specifics about teen smoking and what impact this is likely to have on them.
Well, California already has a very low teen smoking rate, and by providing funds to reinvigorate the state anti-smoking program, increase anti-smoking media, and also drive the cost of cigarettes up with the $1 tax, we're going to see a further reduction in teen smoking.
How important to the anti-smoking cause nationally or globally is this effort?
The effort here in California is absolutely crucial to the national and global tobacco control effort. First of all, the tobacco companies have successfully blocked a lot of tobacco taxes in recent years. Here in California, they've blocked 33 efforts to increase the tobacco tax in the last 30 years. And Prop 29 has become such a high-profile battle that I think a victory here by the public health forces will empower people all over the country. More important, though, is that if smoking is cut as much as we think it will be, California could, within a few years, become the first place to reach former Surgeon General Krup's goal of a smoke-free society, and show the country and the world that you can essentially eliminate tobacco use as a public health problem in a very few years if you're willing to implement the policies that we know will do it.
Okay, why don't you wrap up by saying why it's important that Prop 29 pass?
It's very, very important that Prop 29 pass. California's had a world-famous tobacco control program ever since 1988, when the voters, despite another huge campaign by the tobacco companies, passed Proposition 99, which, like Prop 29, increased the tobacco tax and allocated some of the money to an anti-smoking program. The problem is that 5 cents in 1988, when Prop 99 passed, doesn't really buy that much anymore. And so the state anti-smoking program is running out of steam, and actually we think smoking is going to start increasing again in California if 29 doesn't pass. On the other hand, if 29 passes, we're going to see a rapid reduction in smoking among kids and among the population as a whole, and really put California back in a position of global leadership. At the same time, it'll produce a strong infusion of funds for cancer and other medical research at a time that the federal government is backing off on its commitment in this area. And it'll also add a couple of $2 billion to the California economy at a time that we desperately need it, because we're going to stop sending hundreds of millions of dollars a year out of state to Philip Morris, Reynolds, and other tobacco interests.
Okay, well, I want to thank you very much for your work and for talking to us about it today on Utopia News.
Well, thank you for having me.